55-year-old man was convicted of piloting a drone while under the influence in Sweden. Of course, you should not be doing this. The man pleaded guilty to flying a drone under the influence while in a classic car event back in July in Rättvik, Sweden. So aside from the fact that he was drunk, the event was under a no-fly zone, something of course we've talked about on the channel before, but we'll say it again. It's a no-fly zone. It means you can't fly under any circumstance drone or airplane in that airspace. So how did the man get caught? Well, while monitoring the event, local police noticed that the drone was flying around and then tracked him down. Upon testing him, they found that the man's bloodstream contained 0.69 parts of alcohol for every 1,000 parts, which is pretty high considering that anything above 0.2 in Sweden is considered a serious offense and is punishable by the full extent of the law. When confronted about it, the man denied the fact that he was flying the drone and also decided to put the blame on a friend who was nowhere to be seen. Like, come here for a second, I got something for you. The man, who was later fined 32,000 SEK, which translates to about 3,000 US dollars. In a statement to The Guardian, Karen Helmont, a district court president, is reminding everyone of the importance of being a responsible pilot and that incidents like these can have real consequences. It's worth noting that also this is the first case of drunk droning in Sweden and the first time we've heard of something like this, so let's hope it's the last time. In Canada, of course, a pilot must wait 12 hours from the time they have a drink to when they can operate any aircraft in Canada. So that's 12 hours, bottle to throttle. For cannabis, it's 28 days, and there are rules in place to keep everyone safe. And yes, they also do apply to micro drones. We know in the summer it can be fun to have a few drinks, but if you decide you're going to do that, remember that flying a drone is a responsibility and you have to be fit to fly. Hey, we've got some breaking news about the drone crash that happened during the Palisades fire. Peter Tripp Ackerman, a 56-year-old resident of Culver City, has agreed to plead guilty to charges of unsafe operation of an unmanned aircraft. This plea follows an incident earlier this month where Ackerman's drone collided with a Super Scooper firefighting aircraft during efforts to combat the Palisades fire. The collision caused a hole in the plane's left wing, grounding it for several days. According to the U.S. Attorney's Office for the Central District of California, Ackerman faces a potential prison sentence of up to 1 year for this misdemeanor offense. As part of the plea agreement, though, he will avoid prison time but must complete 150 hours of wildfire-related community service and pay roughly $65,000 or more in restitution for the damage caused to the aircraft. This case underscores the critical importance of responsible drone operation, especially in areas where emergency response activities are underway. As we find out more about this and developments, we'll let you know, and we'll see it on the next episode. It feels like it's been a year since we've been talking about drones in New Jersey, and of course it hasn't, but come on, like, this is just ongoing. So we got a bit of an update about it, and let's just get you right up to speed. So last year, multiple unexplained drone sightings over New Jersey and the east coast of the United States sparked panic, and some residents stating that the drones were flying over their house. They were as big as a car. At some point, the drone activity was so prevalent that it forced the Wright-Patterson Air Force Base to shut down for almost 4 hours. So before President Trump was inaugurated, he said that he would release a report and provide further clarification on the New Jersey drone situation. As many American citizens, of course, were wondering what these things were and what they were doing in the skies, aside from being potentially airplanes and helicopters. In a briefing earlier this week, White House Press Secretary Carolyn Leavitt confirmed that many of the drones were authorized by the FAA, meaning they're operating on some sort of waiver or some sort of authorization. While we don't want to get much into the politics side of things around here, we will say that it's interesting and relieving to get some kind of information about this. But of course, we're glad that everyone's safe and sound, that it wasn't anything nefarious or a foreign operator or anything like that. So +1 for the local operators that are getting paid to fly drones around New Jersey at night, I guess. Like, there's a lot of false positives going on. A lot of these sightings really are planes and helicopters that people have just never seen before at night. If you're looking to make drone-related content on the internet like this video now, then you might want to have a camera gimbal to help smooth out that shaky handheld footage that you're probably going to have to get at the same time. Late last week, Quadro News leaked that there's a new picture of a supposed DJI RS4 Mini, which is a more compact, lightweight version of the common Osmo Ronin gimbal system that DJI makes. The gimbal looks to be pretty small, which make it perfect to throw into something like a travel backpack, maybe alongside your new DJI Flip micro drone. It'll probably come out with a few different accessories like a mini tripod for balancing, an intelligent tracking module that might use LiDAR, and a new grip attachment for better stability so you can have like two-handed control of this gimbal. These are just leaks at the end of the day, of course, and we're taking with a grain of salt or a big one. And you gotta admit though, this is pretty cool to see another gimbal coming out. The other big point with the Mini series is they're designed for compact mirrorless cameras and they're a more affordable option. So there's something that's there that you don't have to spend thousands of dollars on a huge Ronin RS2 type gimbal. On the topic of leaks, Quadro News on X has also leaked photos of the upcoming Osmo Mobile 7, a compact smartphone gimbal that will rival Insta360's recent Flow Pro 2 that we talked about last week. Obviously, it looks very similar to the Osmo 6, but with what Igor is hinting at, Igor Bogdanov on X, a new type of tracking module that could help with subject tracking. It really wouldn't surprise us if the leak came true. After all, the OM6 was released back in September of 2022, so we're pretty much due for a new upgrade. We've talked about it a lot on this channel before, but smartphone gimbals are proving to be an incredibly powerful tool to have in your bag. They give you a lot more flexibility when you're trying to shoot stuff from the ground, especially if you're a real estate drone photographer. In fact, we've even used one ourselves when we needed to capture high quality behind the scenes footage of an FPV one-take video that we're cooking up. So stay tuned for that on the channel, get subscribed. If you're shooting with a drone on a regular basis, the next best camera that you probably have in your bag is your iPhone. Just doing it handheld is never going to be enough. You're going to want to actually have a mobile-friendly gimbal like the Osmo Mobile 7 or 6 or whatever's coming down the pipeline. Definitely worth checking out. If you're looking at getting one or you're thinking about getting into drone real estate, let us know down in the comments. Amazon has picked Darlington as the next drone delivery destination testing facility. As fast as Amazon had suspended their operations for drone delivery, as we saw last week, they've now picked up Darlington, a town in England, as their latest spot for drone delivery testing. The company has announced it will begin the planning phase for launching initial flights from its fulfillment center located on the edge of town, probably to avoid any critical failures. Amazon is still collaborating with the UK's Civil Aviation Authority to create rules and procedures before the operation is fully underway. So they're also going to be submitting a planning application to the town's local council so that they can build a new area for testing safely. So why would they pick a town in England out of all places? Well, for starters, they have a fulfillment center just a few miles away from town, making it a perfect spot to start testing and delivering those hot dogs. They're also going to be in touch with the local community to get feedback from the public and to answer any burning questions that they may or may not have about this drone delivery process. And of course, the town is also pretty close proximity to Teesside International Airport, meaning they'll be able to work closely with authorities to manage flights and ensure Prime Air, which is their full-sized big man drone delivery, will not interfere with local traffic. Cam wants me to make a joke about Teesside Airport and how it sounds like tea. This is my face under duress. I mean Teesside Airport, that's a pretty good name given the context of what we're talking about here. Amazon's working with the government of the UK and has reminded everyone in a statement that they have built safe and reliable systems to allow customers to receive hot dogs via drone in other parts of the world, such as selected parts of the United States. So now that we've talked about drone delivery in the United States and the UK, you're probably wondering, when is it coming to Canada? Well, we made a whole podcast that dives into what the future of drone delivery looks like for Canada, and you're gonna want to check it out here. The North Bay Police Department in Ontario, Canada, has recently expanded its drone fleet to include a few new options for their officers to use while on the job. The department recently purchased both the DJI Matrice 350 RTK as well as the Avata 2, the fly droney FPV boy, to help locate subjects or missing people. These drones will be used in conjunction with their existing drones that they already own, a few recognizable models including the Avata 1 and the Mini 3 Pro. So why would the police department want to use FPV drones? Aren't those, like high adrenaline, racy, flyy, like through trees, through whoops, chasing snowboarders down the mountain? Well, yeah, but FPV drones are also great because they let first responders get into a closer, more immersive look into a situation, enter into a house, enter into an unsafe environment without necessarily putting someone at risk. So for example, let's say a house of a suspect has officers or surrounding it, they can launch the drone and fly into the house and locate any challenges or booby traps or anything else that they might face ahead of time, instead of sending someone in blindly. Constable Steve Spruill said that while their current lineup of drones are proving to be very useful, they do pose certain challenges when it comes to battery life. So the Avata 2's got way more battery life than the Avata 1. Having a backup will make the process smoother, of course, and allow them to utilize precious time that counts when you're on the job like this. Drones are, of course, being incredibly useful for first responders. They allow crews to access information quickly in high-stress scenarios and save critical time in search and rescue environments. If you're interested, of course, we've got a couple different podcast episodes that dive into the applications for both thermal and multispectral drones. You're going to want to check them out in the info card above. So that's it for this week. Be sure to catch our podcast this Sunday at 10 o'clock Pacific time, where we're going to be diving into everything you need to know to get started in the world of drones as a beginner in 2025. In the meantime, check out last week's episode where we'll teach you everything you need to know about how to prepare for a professional drone commercial real estate shoot. It's crazy. I was looking at the stats. 90% of our audience right now is not subscribed to our channel. If you are one of those people that want to get inside knowledge on how we make money using drones, stay up to date with the leaks and drone news coming out, and to come along for us on the ride as we talk about the latest topics in the industry, you need to hit that subscribe button and you need to hit that notification bell. So anyway, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.